And here we go. I think we're live. Everything looks good on my end. Mark Saruro, what's up, sir? How are you?
What's going on, Mark?
How are you doing today, man? Oh, also, I need to pop this chat out, dude. We need to get.
Oh my god,
crazy,
you're not even
bro.
ready.
I'm not even ready. I gotta drag it underneath your photo so that it doesn't go on the stream, and then put it over here. There we go. Okay. There we go, dude. Oh, this week was a push, bro. I increased the amount of content like super significantly this last week. We did almost 2 videos a day plus 2 what do you call them? Shorts. And on top of those 2 shorts, we did the 2 shorts from last night. So those went out obviously like, you know, later at night or whatever.
Yeah, dropped them as soon as they were done.
Yeah, dude, I was looking at the analytics and it's like we did 84 pieces of content in the last 28 days.
Jesus.
Can you believe that shit, dude?
No, that's a lot of content, dude.
84 pieces of content in the last 28 days, dude. That's pretty wild. Chemical Romance, what is up, sir? Who else is here? It's just a 6-cylinder. Says what's up as well.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping by.
Have you tried these ghosts? It's an energy drink made by, who's it made by? It's some I say famous, but it's some it's a known company.
Like an influencer or something.
No. It's like a Coca-Cola or something.
I've never had it.
Anyway, they have
it's another like gamer drink or something, right?
I mean, I definitely think the marketing is geared towards gamers for sure, but it's not. It's a legendary energy, no sugar, no artificial colors, no fat, no calories, like just straight up, like, I don't know, stuff made in a lab somewhere. Anyway, they have officially licensed flavors from Warheads, bro.
Ooh.
Yes, and they're fire. I'm drinking the sour watermelon right now. Oh my god, it's so good.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I've never tried it.
Over 419 says wheelchair mode.
Wheelchair mode.
That's a mode that that's a mode that I hope I never get to try ever.
The old wheelchair mode, dude.
And Combs says he tried wheel mode. He did. He did. Yeah. And he thinks everyone's a bunch of bitches. I'm just kidding.
Here's what I'll say about Wheelmode, all right?
There we go.
We've been talking about it in the last few podcast things that we've done.
Yeah.
And we've given our opinion on it without using it.
That's true.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to, download the stuff and try it out. I used it for 2 days. I'm back on regular controller now, but I used it for 2 days. And I think that we were pretty spot on with what we were saying.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, it's not just a plug and play. Like, you plug it in, you're immediately
better.
Insanely good at the game.
Right.
It takes a insane amount of skill to be able to get like the full benefit of using it. Like the precision on the stick has to be insane. If you have like any tiny bit of stick drift, you can't use wheel mode.
Right. And you have stick
insane. I found out I have a little bit. It's not noticeable on regular steering, but when you have wheel mode, my car's just pulling to the left or something. So
that's hilarious.
So I tried it out, and it took me a little bit to get, semi comfortable with it, and I was able to control it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're in that stage, you definitely are faster. You are faster.
So wait.
Once you can kind of figure it out, you are faster.
Okay.
But it takes an insane amount of skill, though.
Yeah.
Like, I got used to it. Played it with it for a few hours, dialed in some settings, trying to make it not as touchy. And then I went on some tracks that I was chasing times on before, and within, 2 or 3 attempts, I'm like smashing my times.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, it felt like I installed like a cheating software or something. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
I mean,
it definitely felt like cheating.
yeah.
Like, and I was talking to you about it. We're like, coming from, just controller into wheel mode, it feels extremely unfair.
Sure.
Like, extremely unfair.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I've never used a wheel.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's an advantage on wheel mode compared to wheel.
Right.
Which then brought up the question of just, the whole fair play thing, like Simg and Goliath, like Simg started and, Goliath's done his video on like wheel mode and stuff.
Yep.
Where like there is an extreme advantage to using a wheel compared to a controller.
Yes. And by the way, if you guys have not seen Goliath's video, please go watch it. It is very detailed, very well thought out. Something that you guys should watch. I think it highlights the extreme nature of the difference between what a wheel player can do versus what a controller only player can do. It's pretty wild, actually. And if
I'll also say, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if the gap between those players was not so big, I don't know that we would even be talking about it right now. But I think the fact that the gap is that big between a wheel and a controller, that's why we're talking about it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the feeling of it while using wheel mode, like the way it feels while you use it, to me, I did not like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of, I don't know how to explain it. It didn't feel good though. Like, it completely changed the way the game felt.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah.
Although I was, faster, I was not, I don't know, I didn't have fun. It didn't feel like the same game at all.
I'll give you my my thoughts on it as I was watching some of the gameplay, because I watched it a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that what you're describing as the feeling that you don't like, it seems to me the feeling is that you no longer can feel the road or the environment or the heaviness, the weight of the car. You can't feel the physics that they've put so much time into, and it feels like just super arcade. Maybe like it looks really arcadey, like it's a like a, I don't know, like what do you call those games that are like, what's that crazy neon game? What was it called? Neo Dash or something like that? Neo Dash.
Yeah.
We tried this game, Neo Dash, and it felt like, it looks like that. It looks like you're just kind of just floating on the surface, but just going as fast as, I don't know. Anyway, I could totally understand what you're saying in terms of the way it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it didn't feel good. And I'm not like crazy. I'm competitive, but I'm not seeking, to be out here destroying everybody in grand races and stomping, getting world records on tracks and this and that.
Right.
So my intention of using it was just to
test it.
Test, just see what the fuss was about.
Yeah. See what all this racket's about.
Fuss was about, and so that was my takeaway from it. Basically, was there. It is insanely. It is faster.
Yeah, it is.
Which means that, I mean, everybody already knew that wheel was faster, but actually feeling it for yourself, the gap is insane.
The gap is insane.
Like, it is insane. The gap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because the gap really shouldn't. I think naturally there has to be a gap between various input devices. There has to be. Now, obviously, it's the developer's job to try to make that gap as small as possible, but there's a reason why, there's a whole mouse and keyboard versus controller argument happening in Call of Duty. I mean, you're gonna be better with one over the other based on what the dev does behind behind the closed doors. So
Yeah.
the goal is to make that gap as small as possible so that the play is as fair as possible. And in this case, I don't think it's fair at all. I mean, it's certainly not at the top level. If you look at like the top players, the best players in the game, the gap is crazy big. Like, you have people who have of equal skill, and the controller player can't do anything that the wheel player can do.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. So because of that, I think it is on IVT to do something about it. I don't know what the best course of action is. My thoughts, my initial thought is to limit that ability from the wheel player. Unfortunately, I think that will decrease the quality of the way the game feels to that wheel player. And I think if you increase the ability of the controller player to bring him up to where the wheel is, I think then that decreases the controller player's quality, the feeling of quality. So
yeah, the feeling of it. I see what you're saying.
And I think that there's going to be a handful, like let's say IVT put a setting in the game, that's like a slider that you can change. Let's just call it, for the sake of the argument, steering sensitivity, right? If they put that in the game, and the only way to be anywhere close to the wheel player was to have that sensitivity cranked all the way up, right? What do you think the top 0.01% drivers are going to be doing? They're going to have it all the way cranked up, and they're going to learn how to drive the car like that, because that's the fastest way to drive the car.
Right.
But you're now giving the average players, who really have no business even wanting to use it, because it's not going to change their gameplay as much as if they just learned the tracks, or got better at steering, or whatever. There's like a million different things that are on the list that would make them better before trying this higher sensitivity. But you're giving them access to the higher sensitivity, and thus giving them the ability to completely wreck their game and make it feel terrible, and then they just don't want to play anymore. So yeah, I agree. I see it as a problem both ways. I feel like there's not an easy solution to it. I don't know what they're going to do about it. If anything, my guess is that it'll probably stay the same. It's been a problem since pretty early on in the crew. Well, I guess from the crew 1, from what I understand.
I think it was the crew 2. I think I didn't play the crew 1, but I've heard people say that the crew 1 had like the ability to. It was like a built-in wheel mode type deal. Yes,
that's what I was gonna say. I think I mistake that in my mind. It's actually the crew 1 had the ability to make those changes, whereas the crew 2 did not. So
and then, anyway, I guess just a quick explanation, because there's people asking about wheel mode, and someone said, "How do I get wheel mode on my PS5?" So what wheel mode is, you can't get it on console, unfortunately. You can get the same steering or whatever, but you have to buy an actual wheel itself. Yes. You have to be on a real wheel on console. And for PC, what wheel mode is you are installing a virtual controller that you use as your input device. So when you launch the crew game, your virtual controller, you basically bind the steering as if it was a wheel.
Right.
So your regular controller now has steering as if like 1-to-1 steering as if it was a wheel.
Yes.
So that's how that works.
Yep. And the just for the people that don't know too, the benefit of that is that if you can imagine your joystick, if you move it to the left all the way till it stops, that's full. Like that would be like if your wheels were fully locked. You can do that in an instant because there's no delay. If you go to your game right now, if you're on a controller and you hold your left stick to the left and watch the wheels, watch how long it takes for those wheels to go fully locked. It's a long time. Okay. With a wheel or with wheel mode, when you put that stick over to the left, instantly full locked. So your steering is much more touchy and thus allows you to make lots of ridiculous maneuvers while driving. And I strongly Goliath's in chat, go watch his video. He details it perfectly. He shows the difference between wheel mode and no wheel mode and why it's an issue. It's an excellent video, so please, check that out if you're wondering what it is. He explains it very well.
Yeah. And
SRT
also, like,
yeah, go ahead.
go.
I was just gonna say hello to SRT Motive.
Yeah, that's fine. What's up, SRT Motive?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because Tyrone said it's not fair because controller is not supposed to be the same as a wheel.
Yes.
And I agree with that. But also, I've heard because I've never used a wheel, but apparently with wheels, there's a bunch of settings and stuff that you can change.
Yes.
Give yourself, like, instead of full lock being like a full 360 to get your wheels all the way locked, you can shorten that.
Yes.
So it's, like 180 or less or whatever, so they have almost an instant input as you would on a controller with wheel mode,
right?
As you would on a wheel where you're just, as you're turning, it's just full, Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to, you basically have. And that's, what's funny about that? I was just thinking about this. That software that comes with your wheel, like let's say you have a Logitech wheel, you have the Logitech software, and you have all these settings that you can tweak. The question is, how is that different than having a virtual controller that you can tweak the settings of your controller? Does that make sense? Like, how is it different?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That was something else that I believe the last time it was Simji, it might have been Simji, it might have been somebody else brought up, where they were talking about oh my god, what's the other, Trackmania?
Yes.
And like the keyboards, like analog keyboards have a software for them where you can adjust the sensitivity of the keystroke.
The keys, yeah.
Where it's kind of like the same deal. I don't know. It's just input devices in racing games, I guess, is just always a huge problem in discussion.
Problem. Yeah, it's a huge problem. Like I said earlier, though, I do believe there is supposed to be a difference in your input device. There is supposed to be a gap between those devices. It's up to the dev to make that gap as small as possible so that it's as fair as possible, but there should be benefits, there should be pros and cons to all the various different input devices, right? I mean, that's just how it works. That's how life works. If you're a baseball player and you're hitting a ball with a metal bat, you can't expect to then switch to a wooden bat and hit the ball the same distance. Like, it's just not, your device is different. You're going to have a different outcome. That's how I see it. The job of the developer is just to try to make the playing field as level as possible,
Yeah. Chevy says, for this reason is why I don't think there should be cross-play between console and PC for every game. But of course, people whine about it. But Chevy, you get the exact same steering on a wheel that you can have on console that you can with wheel mode on a PC.
Correct.
That's what we were saying. We're saying, like, the wheel mode itself is just, it's the same. It closes the gap from controller to wheel.
Yes.
You're getting wheel steering on your controller.
Right.
It's so if you split crossplay, you're going to have the same gap between players if you're on PlayStation that are on a wheel compared to you on a controller that you are, with crossplay. It's the exact same.
Yeah, the only downside is that console players can't have wheel mode. They actually have to spend the money and get a wheel.
Yeah, but it's not like
it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not getting rid of crossplay is going to get rid of the gap between wheel and controller.
That's correct.
You can have a wheel on console.
That's right. That is right.
Mm-hmm. And 63, I hate all these new gadgets.
Tyrone says nothing compared to PC players with mods. That's true. Mods always win, apparently.
Yeah. Modding's fun in like a private setting. Like if you're like single player, you want to mess around with some mods, but using mods in like a multiplayer, like PvP setting, like,
yeah, agreed.
It's just, you're just a cheater.
Yep, just straight up cheater. I don't know. I definitely want to try wheel mode for myself. I'd like to see what it feels like. Although I don't think my opinion of it or my feeling towards it is going to change much since I've been able to watch you use it and hear you talk about it, because my thoughts really haven't changed on it. since the beginning, which is that I think it is the player's choice to try to use something like that that's a third-party software, and that in itself can be deemed as cheating. But there's a little bit of a gray area because that player is literally just trying to bridge the gap between themselves and their closest competitor, which happens to be on a wheel. I don't think it's for everybody, though. I really don't think that there, like I said earlier, there's just so many things that an average player needs to do to improve their results in a game before wheel mode is a thing. Like a great example, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a great example in Need for Speed Heat would be live tuning, right? People live tune during the races. Like they literally will take the downforce and change it depending on whether they're going to be taking a turn or going on a straight. They'll lighten it up for the straights and put a lot of heavier downforce for the corners. And it's a mechanic that Need for Speed Heat had in the game. But simply doing that is not going to take you from, like, say, my skill level to someone like Waterblob. Like, it's just not going to happen. Or a Goliath or a Simji. Like, I'm not going to bridge that gap with live tuning. So that is like a last thing that you do. Like, you have to improve your skills at the game first. You have to get better, and then when you've exhausted everything you possibly can to increase your skills, then live tuning during the races might get you an extra few tenths of a second during a race, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of see wheel mode as that, right? You have to be of a certain skill level to really benefit from wheel mode, or for it to make a difference in your gameplay, I guess.
I agree.
That's just my...
It definitely, like, if you're not, a high level racer, like out here smashing everybody in grand races already, plugging in wheel mode just makes the game a lot harder. You might be faster than you were,
maybe,
but you're still not going to be keeping up with, the top guys. I'm not going to name the list, but, the handful of guys that are at the top that are just dominating it, you're not going to be able to keep up with them unless you are at their skill level.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing I don't think many players get. I think they get all up in arms about people cheating, and there's a lot of people that call wheel mode cheating, and I don't know. I'm still a little bit on the fence with that, I feel like, but I feel like the people that are getting DNF'd or placing 15th in grand races consistently and can't get any higher, I think those people are still going to get DNF'd whether the wheel mode or a wheel exists at all. Like the people at the top of the game right now in grand races are just absolutely ridiculous at the game, ridiculously consistent, ridiculously talented. The gap between them and an average player is so huge, dude, so huge. The gap between them and me and you is so huge. And me, it's like crazy. We don't even. I mean, honestly, we hardly stand a chance. I mean, we can hang on for dear life to a slipstream, but there's just no way, dude. So I mean that, and I know we're not. I don't think we're average players. I'm not trying to brag at all, but I don't think we're an average player. We're probably a little above average, but the gap between us and them. We put the time in. The gap between us and them is huge.
Crazy hours in the game, And then, the next guys, the top guys above us, they blow us out of the water every race.
Yes.
So,
Scott Sema wants to know what guttering means. I like this question. I really do.
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm somewhat of an expert on gutters. What?
Go ahead, dude. Explain it. You know a little bit about gutters and what they do to you.
So basically what guttering is in the sharp, like, hairpin corners or semi-tighter corners, when you take them, what you do is you dip your whatever wheels are on the inside of the corner, your front and rear wheel, you dip those into the dirt on the edge of the road into the gutter. And what the gutter does... The gutter will... Sorry.
What will it do, dude? Go ahead and tell them. Just tell them.
The gutter will suck you
in.
It'll suck you in and hold you there and then it'll take you around the corner. So you basically can maintain more speed, and it helps you. It helps you from like sliding out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's what guttering is. There, you dip your two wheels on the inside of the turn, and ride the corner.
Wait, hold on, dude. Yeah.
What, dude? What?
All right. It's fine.
Is it
You did a
quicker than
great
drifting?
job.
Yes, it is quicker than drifting.
Yeah, definitely.
Drifting actually will scrub off a lot more speed than you gain.
Listen, I'm gonna give you an example of a corner. When you take a corner, let's say your car can take the corner normally. Like if you hit the apex, you start wide, you end wide, you do a perfect corner. Your car maybe can take it at let's say 70 miles per hour. If you were to use the gutter instead, you can instantly take that corner at 85 or 90. Like that's how different it is. It's wild different. It's probably, I would say, anywhere from 15 to 20% faster in that corner if you dip two wheels into the gutter and rip around the turn. Chemical says 90. Yeah. I mean, even that.
Yeah, it's not very easy. It takes some practice.
Yeah, it does.
The first race on the Donut Media playlist is all tight switchbacks. It's a great track to practice guttering.
Yeah, Scott, go check out the first track on Donut Media. It's called Legendary versus Ravelry. It's actually a course that I use for testing hypercars for that exact reason. I want to see how they gutter. But yeah, that's basically what it is. But you practice that track, you'll get better at it for sure.
Gutter sucking is a pretty neat mechanic.
I hope that there's some of you in the chat that had seen that short. If you guys go back and look at my shorts, there's one that's called Grand Races Make People Say Wild Things. Go watch that one and you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Anyway, that's a great question, by the way, Scott. I'm glad someone asked that because I don't think we've ever really gone into that in detail. I'm still a noob when it comes to that. I'm not very good at it. I tend to drive right through the gutter, or go too slow and end up in the dirt with all four wheels, or I don't know. I have issues with it. I don't know if anyone else does though. Chemicals says don't ever buy a gutter sucker though. Yeah, that sounds terrible to be honest. Leo's seen the short. 1 year anniversary of Ken Block's death was yesterday. Oh man, shout out to one of the best drivers ever, dude.
Yep.
Man, what a legend and what a sad thing to lose. What a sad person to lose.
Yeah, for real. Out of nowhere too. It was crazy.
I really hope his daughter continues. I know we've talked about this a little bit on here, but I hope his daughter continues the whole, like, I don't know, just the legacy of the block name.
Yeah, I think she is. She's been doing a lot. Definitely. So that's pretty good. Yeah. I think they're working on I saw something, I don't know, it might have been on Instagram or YouTube,
like another Gymkhana.
Yeah, they're working on another Gymkhana with the Huna truck.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very nice.
That should be good. And then I mentioned it last time somebody brought it up, but if you guys haven't seen it yet, they recently dropped the last Gymkhana with Ken Block in it. I think it was in Mexico City. That came out not too long ago. You should check it out. It was really good.
You know what? You said that last time and I just didn't check it out.
Yeah.
I just forgot. I'm going to have to watch it. Oh, Droughty said he thought his daughter quit Hoonigan and dissed them. I don't think so.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, in Mexico.
I'm not paying attention.
I don't know, dude. I haven't either. All I'm saying is I hope she does. I have no idea what the status is. I know she's an outstanding driver, so.
I know recently I've noticed, I haven't watched any of their videos, but a couple of like the main guys on the Hoonigan channel, like Hurt and I can't remember the other guy's name. They recently just left Hoonigan. I don't know what the reasoning is. Maybe things are going weird with the brand or something. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's tough when the face and the heart of it dies, you know? That's always tough, especially unexpectedly. Like, he doesn't seem to be the type of guy that has like a, you know, like a living will in place or something. Like, I'm sure he did, because he's a famous person, and that's generally what you do when you have a lot of money.
And the stuff that he's doing, the
Yeah.
extreme stunts, he probably had something.
But I don't know. There might have been some gray area where things got a little weird. Amazon Prime Video has the Honkana and the other Hoon documentaries. That's cool. I'll have to check those out. I'd be interested to see that. Bert went to work with T-Pain's team. Something about more serious drifting.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I don't know anything about it, dude. I'm like so lost in that topic. I know that I like Ken Block. I know that I like the videos, and I think it's awesome that his daughter's a super awesome driver, and I hope she continues it. That's kind of as far as my brain has filed information away on it. Speaking of information, then the amount of information that sits in my head about the Crew Motorfest is wild. Like, I just thought about it the other day, like, what would someone who doesn't know anything about racing games think of this game, and would I even be able to have a conversation with them? Like, they're like, what game do you make content on? Oh, it's a racing game. It's called Motorfest. And then they're like, oh, cool. So you drive cars? Yeah. And planes.
And boats.
And boats and motorcycles. Yeah. I just think like it's just very strange how into the woods I am with a particular subject. In this case, a racing game.
Yeah.
It's wild. Enough to be talking about Wheelmode. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a niche within a niche. What do you mean? You talk to me about this game every day. This is true, dude. Yeah, but Stacy, the thing is, I talk to you, and that's it. There's not a back and forth. It's just me talking at you. She's right.
Motorcycles need a speed buff.
100%, dude. Let's talk about motorcycles in the Crew Motorfest for a second. I would love to be able to use the street bikes specifically in a more competitive way. They literally can't be used. Like, if you use them in the grand race, you're asking to get at the very best like 5th place.
Yup.
Can we please get some speed to the motorcycles? That's about as far as this conversation is probably going to go.
Yeah. Can we please do something for them in the grand race, please? Arima said the bike and Motorfest is trash. They nerfed the top speed and handling. Yeah. It's pretty bad. I think I seen Arima the other day. It might have been in SimG's stream. I think they were using a bike a couple times.
Yeah. Legend says motorcycles should have either top speed or cornering. It cannot have it. It can't not have either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, because it has the acceleration. Obviously, motorcycles have better acceleration than cars, but also probably top speed as well when it comes to like regular street cars. And you do like 150, 160 on a motorcycle. Like my Kia, what is it called? A Kia Rio is not doing 150 on the highway.
No, but I mean, we don't have a Kia Rio in the game. We have like Lamborghinis and race cars.
Okay. I don't know. So, I mean, they have to be viable somewhere.
It should be competitive with the cars. It shouldn't just be, smoked by everything that there is to offer.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you get on a CBR 1000 like right now, you're gonna smoke everything on the street, dude.
Yeah.
Everything. So I don't know. Including Lambos and Corvettes and all that. I mean, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo says bikes should have their own class, like Bike Street 2, so that you can actually use motorcycles. I'd like that. I'd like a bike class. I'd be okay with that.
It sounds like a good idea, but I feel like it's gonna turn into something where people just aren't gonna play for 30 minutes and wait for the next playlist. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
it'd be fun, dude.
I agree. I think it'll be fun, but I feel like there's people that just don't like the bikes at all,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna be like, "All right, well, I'll be back in 30 minutes."
Yeah, but those guys can go grind legendary parts or something. I'm here for it. I would love a bike only, not the whole playlist, just one section of it, just bikes.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be the whole thing. It could, like right now we have motocross.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Just
I agree with that.
Just street bikes in one of the classes.
I agree with that.
And then we can all, like, we're excited about it now, but then like once we have it, we can all complain about it later. Like, damn, these things suck.
Yeah, I agree with Donzilla. They can't even drive cars. Don't force them on bikes.
That's true. Eddie says he'd like to see more drag race events added to the game at some point. Eddie, oh man, I don't. I'm sorry, Eddie. I really don't. I think the drag racing in this game is so freaking boring. It's unbelievable. The fact that I have to do something 3 times. Like, why do I have to do this 3 times? I already passed the required speed for this event. Just let me pass it with 1. Why do I have to keep going? It's just unbelievably boring. Now, if they added multiplayer drag racing, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Ghosting at the beginning of grand races. Jesus.
Grand races.
Got my mind on drag racing.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't see a downside
maybe.
of it. I don't see a down. What's the downside of having it?
Honestly, the downside is instead of like 7th place back always getting DNF'd, it's now going to be 3rd place back that always gets DNF'd. If you give guys like Simji ghosting at the beginning of a race, he is going to be so far out in front by the first car change that, like, if you're past 7th place, you have no chance of finishing. Like, the skill gap between the top players and the only chance they have is to crash these people out at the beginning. Like, that's literally your only chance if you're not good at the game.
Yeah.
It's just, the gap is too big. That being said, I don't know that maybe it would be a better experience. Maybe people would actually like it. I'm not for or against it, to be honest with you. I'm undecided.
Okay.
I would love to try it for a little while and see how it goes. That's kind of where I stand. I don't know. The thing about that, dude, literally any lobby Predaking is in, I'm getting DNF'd. Like, I'm getting DNF'd, dude. If he has ghosting and he's gonna be in the front that fast, like, there's no way.
True. That's true.
I would say, I don't know, if you're gonna add ghosting, maybe like the first 10 seconds of the race or 20 seconds of the race. Maybe 30 is way too much time, I think.
Yeah, 30 seconds is a long time. I think when this was brought up like a while ago, I don't even know if we were on the podcast doing it or whatever, but I think we were all saying maybe a 10-second.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess maybe it depends on... I think it maybe depends on the car class. So maybe a percentage as opposed to a time. Maybe like the first 3% or something like that of the race, you know? I don't know. Shaq says no collision like TC2. I don't know, man. The multiplayer in TC2 is fine, but I'm not a huge fan of the ghosting for the entire race. Someone asked about Wheelmode. Let's see. Used a wheel on PS1 back in the day. It was definitely faster than controller.
Yeah.
Malintech says, how about a penalty in Grand Race? Like, if you got hit, both go ghosting. Both got ghosting. I definitely think the game needs to do a better job of recognizing when 2 cars are going to hit very hard, and I think it should ghost. Like the Forza Forza Horizon 5, how the ghosting works in multiplayer. Do you remember that? Where like if there was gonna be a big collision, it wasn't
Yeah,
just like trading
it would
paint.
ghost you.
It was a collision basically. It would ghost.
Yeah.
I think I like that quite a bit, to be honest.
I agree.
How do I feel about planes being used in slalom feats? I hate it. I hate it. I mean, it's whatever, dude. It's fine. I'm not gonna complain about people figuring it out. It's fine, but it's obviously not the intention of that event. I just think it does take a little bit of skill, right? It's kind of tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's tough. I think that like ground events should be ground events. But
Yes.
I mean, if you have the ability to do it in an airplane, I think that's kind of cool.
I'm
too,
not.
though.
Yeah, I'm
But
not worried about
I
it.
agree. Yeah, I agree though that I don't know. I feel like the ground events should be ground events. I mean, in the last summit with the buoy smashing, the top players on buoy smashing were in airplanes. So that I was kind of like, okay, what the hell is going on?
What the hell's going on here, dude?
What the hell is going on?
I don't know what the distance is that you can be away from the buoy before it actually pops, but it has to be some sort of distance, right? Because you can't fly. What are you gonna do? Hit it with the landing gear? Like what? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know how it works at all.
If I try to fly that low in a plane, I'm for sure going in the water, dude.
Yeah.
Like
200 attempts on a buoy smashing.
100%, dude.
Yeah. Chevy, I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't do anything with it. But
I was just looking. I was trying to find the link because I was gonna put it in chat, but I'm slow at it. I can't even find it, dude. Let's see. Simji says new players don't get wrecked and can get used to the game. Regular players have more fun surviving, and the sweats go chase the finish line. Okay, so I'm okay with that analysis, Simji, as far as the ghosting at the beginning of the races go. But then I think you need to increase the timer. I think you need to give the rest of the field the chance to finish. Also, an alternative to that is because I know that the people that finish the race, they don't want to be sitting there waiting for everyone else to finish, obviously. Why not just have a timer that's per player? Like, you finish, your place in that grand race is already secured. There shouldn't be like this event that happens after the race is over where it shows people and the champion and whatever of the race, because the people that finish first, they just want to go on to the next race. So let them go on to the next race. Let everyone else finish their race, and then once they're finished, they get to queue into another grand race. Like, why is it everyone has to finish at the same time?
I don't know. Maybe that's just how it's coded to, like, you know, give out the rewards or whatever.
Yeah, but like
the event has to finish.
But like, make it different.
Just change that, dude.
Just please change it. It should be easy. Anyways, how do you guys feel about planes being used in slalom feats? I already read that. I don't know why. I just saw the question mark and I was like, I'm gonna read this one. Leo the Gecko, there's always a poor guy on a motorcycle getting beaten up by everybody in the grand race. This is true. I was that guy for a while because there was a moment where I was like, I'm gonna use a motorcycle and win a grand race, and it never happened, but I could still dream about it, I guess. But yes, I got beat up all the time. I got slammed into walls, like, intentionally. It's almost like people just didn't want to see the motorcycle there. Like, oh, this is a target, and they just hit me.
Yeah. It's like they're just not, like, if you bump into another car, like, there's some force back or whatever, but you can just kind of tap a motorcycle and they're just not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Dennis says, would ranked types of lobbies / modes work to keep the sweats together? Yes, it would, but I'm a firm believer that I don't like, I'm not a huge fan of skill-based matchmaking, so I don't think you have to always force the sweats to be always racing sweats, and I don't think it's good for the players that are not that good, because they're not going to be getting better racing people of their same skill level. So I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But I do like the idea of a ranked play, like a ranked mode of some sort. It'd be awesome. Some sort of ranking with rewards, you know. It'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, Rhino the Raccoon? Thanks for stopping by.
Mr. Rhino, how you doing, man? Wants to know what the opinion on wheel mode is. Can you give him the quick and dirty? And also for anybody that's just joining the stream, you didn't get a chance to hear what you had to say about it earlier in the stream?
Yeah, earlier in the stream we went on a kind of long tangent about it, just discussing it. But overall, I basically was just, you know, I wanted to try it out and see what all the fuss was. So I used it for a couple days, and I don't think I have a problem with wheel mode. Like wheel mode, I don't think I have a problem with. I think it's just being able to experience the gap between what a wheel can offer compared to a controller is insane.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the biggest takeaway, was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And also for everybody crying that it's cheating or whatever, it was basically like, you can't just download wheel mode and be extremely fast. Like you're gonna run faster times just because you can keep a faster pace, but it takes an insane amount of skill. Like the amount of skill it takes to actually benefit from using wheel mode is crazy.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I don't think I have a problem with the wheel mode itself. I think something needs to be addressed. I don't know how they're going to fix it. I don't know if it's even possible to fix, but the gap between wheel and wheel mode compared to regular controller is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that
was
gap
kind of like the short sum up.
Yeah, he also thinks, and it's hard to disagree with this, but it feels like cheating.
Yeah, going
Using
from
it
a controller, like never using wheel before, I have no experience with a wheel, don't know what that feels like. Going from only ever playing on a controller into that, the way the car handles and whips around and everything, it felt like I installed like a cheat of some sort.
Yeah.
But I guess if that is the similar input to what a wheel offers, then that is the main problem, I guess.
Right, for sure. Yeah, the issue is the gap between wheel and controller. That's really the issue. Mm-hmm. Wheel mode feels like a community-made Band-Aid for the problem.
Yeah, it was just, the top guys of racing that are on controller, they found a way to be able to compete with the top guys that are on wheel. And like we mentioned before, you might be faster on wheel mode, but if you don't have a similar skill level of these top guys, such as, Rhino himself, if you don't have his skill level, installing wheel mode's not going to allow you to keep up with him in a race.
Yeah, agreed. Yep, agreed. The Slip says, I actually think I met someone in wheel mode, had a decent lead. We were both alone and he walked me down. Dude was cracked. That could be a guy that was just cracked, honestly, Slip. But yeah, I mean, you never know. You can't even really tell when you're parked. You can't tell that someone has wheel mode because everybody's steering looks instant when you're just parked. So that instant steering that you see from other people is what you actually have with wheel mode. So it's pretty wild, but not everybody's on wheel mode for sure. Not every person at the front of the pack is on wheel mode. But I will say that when you get someone, let's say like Simji, who doesn't use it, into a pack of players who are of his skill level, who are using it, the margin for error that Simji has is so much smaller than theirs. Like he literally can't make a mistake. If he makes one mistake, he can't allow it to domino into two, because if that's the case, he's going to lose Slip. Everybody's just going to walk away from him.
Yeah.
And Lean was saying wheel mode just enhances your skill at driving. I don't know if it enhances it. I think what it does is it removes sort of a artificial cap on what you're able to do with the car. like the devs have obviously put a cap on what a controller player can do with the steering delay, but by using wheel mode, you are removing that cap. And if you have the skill to take advantage of it, then it turns out to be a very good thing for your pace. But I don't think it enhances your skill at all. I think your skill is what you have to use to take advantage of it.
Right.
Trapping.
Yeah. If you're not good at driving, like you're not the best, installing wheel mode's not gonna make you insane at driving. It's gonna be even harder.
Yeah.
And then once you finally are able to control it slightly, you'll be faster than you were. But like I said, you're not gonna be up at the top of everybody. Up at the top with all the top guys.
Yeah.
You might be ahead of where you normally finish at, but yeah, you still have to have the skill level as everybody else to keep up with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Trappin wants to know, how do you even turn wheel mode on? It's not a turning it on. It's a third-party software that you have to use to basically trick the game into thinking that your steering is that of a wheel, even though you're using a controller. That's basically what wheel mode is.
Yeah. It's a virtual controller.
I agree with Goliath.
Yeah. It detects the your controller input, but the game sees it as this virtual controller. So it basically thinks you have a wheel instead of a regular controller.
Yeah. Rhino says, I'm glad you see that. As someone who uses wheel mode, this is my perspective. You have people like Nico, Timic, Waterblob, Hesto, Diaz, Powa, etc. They all use wheel mode and have a huge advantage in races. They have controllability, which is even better. I decided to go to wheel mode to compete with people, I said, and even in the summits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, like, I don't necessarily blame anyone for wanting to do it, especially people like you, Rhino, because we understand already that your skill level is so high that who are you, like, if you're not competing at the highest level, you're certainly not having to compete with anybody lower than you. Like someone like me, I'm not competing with Rhino in a race. It's just not going to happen. He's just ridiculous. So then who is he competing with? He's kind of on an island by himself where all of his peers who have the same, not the same, but like fairly close in skill level, all of those people are using wheel mode. Like, what is he going to do? Like, how is he supposed to compete? You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't blame anybody for trying it, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the ability to, and you want to, I mean, I guess whatever.
Nice. Oh,
go
dude,
for it.
Donut Steel just got a win in the grand race with a bike.
Nice, dude. Nice job, dude.
Less than 2 seconds for second place, dude. Oh my god, he barely got it. But still, nice job. I've been trying to get a win with a bike, or well, I used to, not anymore. I've given up on the dream.
You only get booted into a tree so many times.
Yeah, it's too much. Oh man. Yeah, dude, it's a weird thing. I think fairness is something that people are concerned with. I think that's really honestly where this all comes from. It just comes from people wanting it to be fair, and there's lots of different perspectives on what fair actually is. So I don't know. I think as I'm sort of finding out the history of the game, I don't think we're gonna see any type of solution coming out of IVT. I think this is the way the game was designed, and they had all of the history of, the crew one, when they had it to where you actually did have wheel steering and controller, and then they decided to go away from it into crew 2, and then all those years of developing content for the crew 2, and not one time did they address it or change it, and now a brand new game and it's still the same as the crew 2. I just don't see them making any changes.
Yeah, because it's like you said earlier, like what do? They nerf wheel, which ruins all the people that, prefer a wheel over a controller. It destroys their experience.
Yeah.
Or they give the ability to have the steering on a controller, which then forces everybody that wants to keep up with everybody to ruin their experience by making the game feel different.
Yeah.
Or in my opinion, worse.
Yeah.
I did not like the feel of the game with wheel mode.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think that you and I are perfect examples of people who I think are on the fringe of being able to take advantage of wheel mode. Like I think our skill level's high enough to take advantage of it and be better with it, but we're not competing for world records. We're not out there at the top every single time in grand races. We're not at the top of the summit leaderboards, and so I think it's an easy decision for us to go, yeah, we know we'll be faster there, but like, why? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, what are we doing?
That's exactly what I did. Like I said, I ran, a few of the tracks that I like to either test cars on or try to get fast times on, and blew my times out of the water within, 2 tries on wheel mode. But then it's like, I'm still not close to world record. Like, I don't care. I don't care to set world records. I'm not out here trying to just destroy everybody.
Right.
I don't know. I play games for fun, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And wheel mode is not more fun. Well, you said you had some fun with AGP.
It is really fun. Just, it was fun. I will say that it was fun, but it didn't feel the same. It felt like I was playing a different game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the Alpha GP stuff was crazy. It was more like a mind-blowing type of fun, like just experience like Alpha GP just full ripping around everything and stuff. Just kind of like, oh my god, what is happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Slip, I think you're probably in the same boat as me. He said he's at the skill level where he's always top 5 in the grand races, and maybe one guy dominates the lobby, and so fairness is big for him. But you know what, Slip, that guy that's dominating the lobby, like let's say, I don't know, let's say I'm in a lobby with Simji, right? And he's gonna dominate the lobby. If it's just us, like you, me, and him, like unless he makes a mistake, we're not winning. Like, it's just
for
not
the most part, yeah.
Like, dude, he has to lose the race. We're not gonna win the race. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
He's gonna have to make a mistake for us to win.
The only times that me and you have either one of us have had a win over Simji when just the 3 of us are racing is because he crashed.
Yes, he's crashed, and that's it. And so what I'm getting at is the guy that's dominating the lobby is always going to dominate that lobby because the skill level is just so much higher, and they're not always necessarily on wheel mode. Like Simji's not,
No, Simji's not. He's fast.
He's just fast.
What's going on, Steve-O? Big hi to you as well.
Donzilla says, honestly, I felt scary fast on wheel mode. Like, it actually made me want to compete on record times. But Donzilla, I think you're at that skill level where like you could definitely take advantage of it. Like, it would make you a lot better, so I don't think, I wouldn't consider you an average player at all.
You hear that, Simji? You're a god.
Yes, dude. Simji with the
like,
sweat.
Please,
I love
keep
it.
praising me.
Yes, please. No, I'm just gonna replace his name with someone else that I know, and we'll just praise everybody that's at the top of the leaderboards. Same here, top 3 to 7 majority of the time, so I want everyone to have the same factors. Also, got my first GR win the other day, and 3 more soon after. Watching your videos helped a lot. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that, man. And also, congrats on the grand race win, and or the grand race wins. That's awesome, dude. And you'll probably see a lot more if you keep playing. Dude, you know what's funny about the grand races to me? I think players of average skill level can 100% win the grand races. It's not going to happen all the time, but I've been in some lobbies where I'm like, this lobby wasn't great. Like, the people in there were just not super skilled, right? And I've put a bunch of time on there. I'm not even the best racer, and I've put like a lot of time on second place. And so I feel like if I wasn't in that lobby and it was just all of those other players, a regular average player would have won that race. So I think I think the thing that you can really do to make yourself go from being an average player to an above average player in the grand races, the very first thing that you need to do is just try your best to stay on the track. Like, just Don't overdrive. That's my biggest advice. The next thing that you need to focus on is learning the routes. You need to learn the routes, because if you know the route, you can take the corners at full clip. You can take them at the highest possible speed that your car will allow, and then on top of that, if you pay attention to some of the best drivers, you can learn the shortcuts. So I think that's the biggest thing you can do as an average player, and you'll start winning.
Sorry, dude, my nephew's in his little walker banging on my door.
Wait, how old is he now? 9 months?
He is 9 months, yeah.
Oh my god.
I heard the banging, and then I hear Kelly going, "You can't go in there."
That's pretty funny. He's insanely big. He's so big for 9 months, dude.
Yeah, he's huge.
I can't believe it. Anyway, Donut says, I've seen Water Bob in the Grand Race. I had no chance. Yeah, not many people
Water
do.
Bob's fast.
Not many people do. Tyrone says, and learning manual. Manual will help, but I will say this. In this game specifically, automatic is actually pretty good, and it does come with some advantages. For example, in automatic, the Agera R is somewhat controllable. Like it actually handles differently. I don't know if you've tried this. I've tried the Agera R in automatic, and it's kind of nice, actually. Feels pretty good off-road. It doesn't feel like you're always in the right gear. Like pretty much always. There's only certain situations where you're not.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think they did automatic very well in this game.
Yeah, Shaq mentioned like one of the cons of automatic is the launching. But other than that, yeah, I agree. The automatic is actually pretty. They did a good job with it in this game.
It's actually not bad. It's not bad. What's the easiest way to learn manual on a controller? Oh man, I mean, aside from like literally just practicing it, I don't really have any real specific advice, to be honest with you, Stevio. I think man, what makes the biggest difference?
Get used to the sound of when you need to shift, so you're not looking at your tachometer the whole time. That's like one of the biggest things is as you're driving. I mean, at first you're gonna be looking to try to see when you shift. Try to get used to the sound of it, and then it'll just be like second nature to you while you're driving. You'll know when you should shift or not just based off the sound of the engine alone.
I have a confession.
What's that?
I still look at the tachometer.
Can't believe you.
I know. It's a problem for me. I definitely think there's times when I look over at the tack to make sure that I'm not like banging the gear, and that sounded weird. Especially, you know, when we go into a gutter situation, you can't be banging the gear in a gutter.
Banging gears and
anyway,
I'm not gonna finish it.
Anyway, I can't. I still cannot hear the car perfectly. Like each car has a different sound to it, right? And so I drive so many different cars that I just like I've never gotten really used to just doing it by sound. Although I will say it does get easier over time. Like instead of me constantly looking at the tack, I know when I'm about to need to shift, and I just do a little glance like this, and I'm like, okay, it's there, and I shift it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Also, Shaq says I look at it to see how fast I'm going in certain sections. I do exactly that when it comes to testing. I'm constantly looking at the speed of the car in corners in certain sections, because if I don't, then I don't know whether the changes I've made to the car in terms of handling are positive or negative. So I'm constantly looking at the speedometer. Slip says, bro, I've had vanity items mess up my gear shifts. I'm just redlining and can't hear it, and I need to shift, so I look at the tag. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Dude, I had those Christmas vanities I had on the other day just so loud I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Leo's only problem with auto is that he may be going too slow in a high gear and it won't gear down. Yeah, it's sometimes that happens, but it's not too often, I would say. Chevy 34. Are you... Wait, you've been in the stream this whole time, right, Chevy? Are you taking off? I will say goodbye if you are. If not, hello. Coming back? I don't know. Sometimes... Oh, sometimes... No, for me, it's all the time. The anodized with the lasers and the Christmas van. Dude, it was wild, Kevin. I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't even think that video really showed how distracting it really was. It was pretty wild. Chicken Rights, I am 36. I'm gonna be 37 this year, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm
gonna be 27 in a couple weeks.
I don't want to hear it. Wait, are we actually we're just 10 years apart? Yeah, because you're in the same you're the same age as my youngest brother.
I'm 1 year older than him.
Oh, you are? Wait, he's 10 years old, 10 years younger than me. Yeah, I don't remember how old he is now. I think he's 10 years younger than me. I thought he was. Yeah, I was born 87. He was born in 97. Yeah, that's right. Exiled, what's going on, man? How are you? Slip says the Redliner kit helps him a lot on certain cars.
That's right. Me and him are the same age. He was just a school grade younger than me.
That's right. So you're about to be 27, like coming up in just a couple of...
Yeah. The 16th.
Trigger, what's your thoughts on the Nomad? My thoughts are it's wildly unstable and it's very unfair when a group of people you're playing with decide to trick you into using it when they're not going to use it, and then proceed to use full meta cars to DNF you in the lobby. I feel like that in itself is just unfair, in my opinion.
Yeah, guys, if you guys don't know, Simji is kind of evil. He's an evil mastermind.
He is Mr. Burns.
And so the other night, the three of us, me, Simji, and Trigger here, we were doing we're doing some grand racing just for fun, just racing around. And Trigger had to be AFK for a few minutes. And when he was gone, Simji came up with his master plan. He's like, hey, let's tell Trigger to use like some random, like really shitty cars, and we'll tell him all three of us are using them, and then we'll just use
regular.
We'll just use like regular like meta cars. And they're like, okay, so we made him use like the aerial Nomad for like the rally, and like a Mini Cooper for racing.
The DeLorean for Street 2.
And a DeLorean
dude, the DeLorean for Street 2. It was so bad, dude.
And then we used the metas, And it was so funny, dude. Me and Simji,
and I actually got DNF'd. And
Simji DNF'd the lobby.
I have to admit, technically, it is going on my record as my very first DNF. I have obviously, like, my game has crashed and I've quit lobbies before, like, for whatever reason. I need to go do something. I've quit, but it's not. I've never been actually trying to race and play and been DNF. This is the first time it's ever happened. I will say the circumstances that it happened are a little bit unfair, but I was actually trying. I was trying to race hard. I think I got third, or no, I got fourth.
No, you got third.
I got third. So I got like freaking third in those cars.
You were like one corner away from finishing.
It was a perfect storm because that race itself was so long. It was a 9-minute race, dude. Like, when I was pulling up to the finish line, you guys had already finished it. Your times were like 8 and change. Mine was just over 9, and it was like I was right there. I was maybe, I don't know, 200 yards from the finish line. So I mean, I don't know. Technically I got DNF, but it's like, I don't know, whatever.
It wasn't a fair one. No. It wasn't a fair DNF.
No.
It was really funny though.
It was really funny. You guys were having a great time, and I was just like, I felt like I was in high school again, just getting pranked. I was the not cool kid anymore. Get pranked, bro. That's silly, dude. Oh my god. Shelly Ross says 39 here. Does that mean you're 39 years old? Stevo is in his 60s. Is that what I see? Yeah, Stevio says Trigger the same age as my second oldest son. That's awesome, man. Thanks for, dude. I love it. I love it so much that I've got. There's so many like of the gamers that are like a little bit older that are still playing games, like coming to the stream chats. Like I love it, honestly. Wait, what?
Fucking Simji said you were mocking me, saying you got pranked, bro. You got pranked. He was like, "Hey guys, you guys remember when we pranked?"
Hey guys, you remember when we pranked Trigger, dude? Yeah, definitely big kids. I'm definitely one of them too, man. I mean, I know I guess I'm not. Yeah, there's a few people here are a little older than me, but I see myself as a big kid as well. Games have always been a huge part of my life. There's only been a few like a few years I can count in my life where games were not a big factor. You know, particularly when I was younger, actually. It was kind of a really nice escape. It was very nice. I mean, I literally was I used it as like a way to just like not think about anything that was upsetting me at the time, you know. Whatever it was. You know, school, living situation, whatever. Like it was a great escape.
Yep.
So I always wanted that to be the thing with this channel. I wanted it to be someone else's escape. It's the reason why, we talk about a lot of weird things on this podcast. But real life stuff, I just don't feel like it needs to be here. You know, politics is one of them. I hate talking about it. So
yeah, I agree.
It's supposed to be an escape, man. It's supposed to be entertainment.
Yep, games are 100% like an escape.
Leo the Gecko says, imagine being beaten in a game by a grandpa or grandma. Dude, it happens all the time, dude. There's people you don't even know. You don't even know, man.
Yeah. Rhino says, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna read Rhino's comment. He says, one thing I also wanted to add is that Wheelmode was already a big issue in TC2, and after years of asking and even talking to devs, nothing was done. Yeah, we were just talking about that actually, Rhino. I think I don't anticipate anything being done about this one either. TC1 had similar something called wheel steering and clutch for controller that was built for the game. Yeah, that I do know, but the reason I don't think anything is going to happen in Motorfest is because they had it in the Crew 1, and then they went away from it in the Crew 2, and then they focused on the Crew 2 for so long and didn't change it and knew it was an issue in the community, and then built a brand new game and didn't change it either. So I don't know. I don't have any hope.
Yeah. SimG said, is there any game genres you've thought about trying but never have? A game genre.
Yeah, like what's that? Like there's a game genre that I haven't really tried a whole lot of. It's top down like strategy games. I don't know if that's a game type that I would actually like. Like
what, like a League of Legends or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I did play some League of Legends. It's not my style of game, but I did try it. That was one that I was curious about, and I tried it. Not my favorite. I'm trying to think.
You've played pretty much everything, right? I mean, what haven't you know what I don't play at all, and I used to play quite a bit by myself, was like fighting games.
Fighting games, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played a fighting game since like Tekken 2.
Yeah, I think the last fighting game that I was actually like into and playing was the first Injustice. I played the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Injustice was great.
I did not play that at all. Like I said, Tekken 2 was the last one. I played Mortal Kombat when it was out, but that was...
I'm trying to think of one that I haven't played. I don't know if there is like a genre of game. I'm sure there is, but nothing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. We've played a lot of games.
Yeah.
We've played a lot.
If there was a game that I wanted to try, I would most likely just try it. As I think what
Yes.
happened there.
Yes.
I
Sly
can't think
Cooper,
of
dude. Sly Cooper is legit.
dude, Sly Cooper.
It goes so hard.
Oh my god. Bro, when I was living with Jake, we bought an old PlayStation 2 and a bunch of games. We had like Sly Cooper and Crash Bandicoot and stuff.
Hell
It
yeah.
was so good.
Dude,
God.
when I was playing Sly Cooper, I would also play Spyro. I don't know if those games are similar or not, but I feel like in my mind they are because it was around the same time that I played both of them.
It's the same like generation, but they're not the same type of game at all. When you see in SmackDown match, I haven't played a SmackDown game in freaking I don't even know how long, dude.
I haven't even tried the SmackDown games.
There you go. There's a genre. I'm just kidding. I don't even know what the name of it would be. It might have been like one of the original like SmackDown versus Raw or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely have played the genre though, because like when I was younger, I went to my neighbor. We were fairly poor, and we had our PlayStation 2, and we could only have one game, and I chose the game GTA 3. That was what I played. It was a phenomenal choice, by the way, by me, a 12-year-old. Anyway, I would go to my neighbor's house, and they had an N64. And I was like, I just wanted to play that. Like, dude, an N64 was great. I didn't have a Nintendo at the time. And we played so much Raw versus NWO, or what is it? No, WWE versus NWO. It was wild, bro. We played so much of it. I just always would immediately like insta-lock Rey Mysterio Jr. and just be a menace. I love that game.
Yeah, I didn't have a N64 either, but one of my neighbors where I was growing up, they had one. I used to go to their house and play. What was it? I think it was like called Pac-Man World or something like that. It was a Pac-Man game, but it was like a 3D like. Let me see what it's called if I can find it. Anyways, that game was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pac-Man World.
It was like a 3D Pac-Man.
Yeah. Like you know how have you seen like Mario World or whatever? There's like a 3D Mario game where like you run around or whatever, or like Super Mario.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that, but it was Pac-Man.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there's I don't know, played the hell out of that at one of my neighbor's house.
Yeah. Someone wrote something I was just gonna touch on, and I don't know where it is. Where did it go? The next Crew 2 Summit. The Crew 2 Summit, the skill events are all going to be the mad skill events. That sounds like I don't know what that is because I haven't tried any of the mad stuff at all since it launched.
Anyone else interested in test drive Solar Crown? Yes.
I'm interested.
Yeah, the last update that they put out on it, where they're talking about the different competitive racing and stuff like that, looks pretty good.
Legend Gold says it's pain. Oh god.
The mad stuff.
The mad stuff, yeah. Leo the Gecko actually said something that's kind of interesting to me. I think it's an unpopular opinion that the Crew 2 should get shut down. My personal opinion is that it doesn't need to be shut down necessarily, and I don't have a problem with them rerunning old summits because it doesn't take much from the dev team to just throw up an old summit, which is kind of what they're doing now. And I don't have an issue with that. I think they could keep that going. But I do have an issue with them adding new cars to the game, particularly cars that they do have the license for in Motorfest. Like well, I don't know. They did say the Gordon Murray ones were coming to Motorfest in season 3, right? So they obviously have the license for the Gordon Murray stuff. For Motorfest.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, it was in the article.
Okay.
They have the license for those cars in Motorfest. It might have been a timed thing and they can't they can't introduce it till later, but it bugs me that they introduce those things in the Crew 2 as opposed to in the new game. That bugs me. But as far as the Crew 2 goes, like I want Ivory Tower to focus on Motorfest, and it seems like they're not, because every platinum reward, with the exception of just maybe 2, I think since it came out, has been like basically either a vanity or an old Crew 2 summit reward.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I talked to you about it when we were grinding the Crew 2 recently for like money so we can buy the cars so we can play them in Motorfest, and how I don't know. I was expressing my frustrations for that, where I enjoy the Crew 2.
Sure.
I think the Crew 2 is a great game. I have a lot of fun in it. But I just wish that Motorfest was its own game. I wish Motorfest was a new game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they're doing the content for Motorfest, it feels like Motorfest is an expansion of the Crew 2.
Definitely.
Opposed to it being its own game.
Yeah.
It's like you can get everything you need, you can play all your Crew 2 stuff in this new expansion of it, but you always have to keep going back to the old game.
Yeah.
Is what it felt like to me.
Yeah, it is.
And I find it frustrating that they're bringing in, constantly new cars that are purchasable in the Crew 2, that are Crew 2 exclusives, but you can import them into Motorfest. And I think it's frustrating that if it's a car that you can get in Motorfest, you can't just buy it in the game that you're playing. You have to go to the old game and buy it and then transfer it into the new game.
Right.
Like, if talk about, fairness or whatever, I feel like if it's a game that if it's a car that anybody else can get and use, I feel like everybody should have the same ability to purchase and use it. Yeah, should have the same access to the car.
Yep. Agreed. I agree. I think they just man, I've been trying to put myself in the position of Ivory Tower on the decision to have the collection import into Motorfest. And I understand why they did it. I really do. I understand that the Crew 2 had a very loyal audience for a long time. And they're still loyal to the Crew 2. And they wanted to reward those players going into Motorfest. They didn't want it to feel like it was a completely new grind in Motorfest. They wanted to reward them with, starting with their collection. I get that. But I think if they had separated the games and Motorfest was its own thing with its own cars and its own grind that it had, and you couldn't bring any of your cars in, I think more players would be jumping ship from the Crew 2 and just playing Motorfest exclusively. And I think instead of having to go back and forth from 2 different games, they would literally just be playing Motorfest.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a better experience for everyone. What I don't think they thought of is how many new players they were going to have in Motorfest and how unfair it is to them that they can't even collect all the cars in the game. It's wild, dude. It's so wild that you can buy this game full price and not be able to buy or earn everything that is offered in the game. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they're just skins, dude. Like, I get it if let's say you have like a reskinned car and that's the only thing that's different is just the skin on the car. I understand that a lot. It would be fine because then you have essentially like a trophy for playing, an older game. They did that in Call of Duty, stuff like that. You'd have like an emblem that you would get that, you play the previous COD, so then you have this emblem you can put on your profile. It means shit to your gameplay. It doesn't mean anything. All it is a trophy, something you can visually see. And that's what a reskin car could be. However, these are not reskins, dude. These exclusive cars are actually performing better. And so now it becomes like some sort of like unfair pay to win argument, right? It's not really pay to win, but like kind of, you have to buy the other game and you have to spend the time grinding and get those cars. I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's just weird. It's
It is
gray
weird.
and weird. It's not black and white. It's very strange.
Yeah. KLZ says, I'm happy they did the importing. It means 5 years of grinding isn't much of a waste for me. But wouldn't it be just like if they came out with a new game after 5 years?
Right.
I don't think it's a waste of grinding for 5 years. It's just a new game came out. Like, this is the new game.
Yeah, those 5 years that you played, you got 5 years worth of entertainment out of a single game. That's absolutely insane.
I don't know. That's just my take on it. Like I said, I really enjoy the Crew 2. I think it's really fun.
Agreed.
But I just wish that this game was its own game. I wish it was a new game.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. Particularly with the summit rewards, to be honest. And the exclusive cars. I just think the exclusive cars should have stayed exclusive in the Crew 2, and they should have made brand new versions of those cars for Motorfest. Like, this Devo Magma Edition is a great example. It was a highly sought after car in the Crew 2, and I have no problem with them bringing it back as a summit reward for the Crew 2, you know, if they want to give more players a shot at earning it. But having it be like the pinnacle reward for the new game, and it being a Crew 2 exclusive that a lot of Crew 2 players already have, it just feels like, I don't know what it feels like. It feels like this is just like reusing content. That's what it kind of feels like. And it like, just make a new one. Even if it was just like a different color, dude. Have the same body kit on it. Change the colors. Call it something else. Call it like the freaking whatever, Green Lantern edition. Or I don't know. you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just wish there was a bigger division between the games. Unfortunately, you have to go back and grind the old game if you want to get the cars, which, by the way, I'm doing content every week on now. Hopefully we'll be helping the people who do want to collect the cars know what they can collect each week, what they can go back to the Crew 2 and get. I'm trying to do my best to serve that audience. I don't think anyone's really focusing on that too much, so I want to try to give as much info as I can, because I'm actually in that boat. Like, I do want to earn these cars, so every week I'm going back and playing the Crew 2 for hours every week. So hopefully I can help you guys a little bit on that. Donzilla God says $110 and almost 100 cars can't be bought, and all of them are from the previous game. Very true. And that's the reason I have a problem with it, is that you're buying a full price game and 15% of the cars you can't own.
Yep, I agree with you, KLZ. Said I don't agree with cars not being buyable in Motorfest. I think they should. It just means that Crew 2 players don't have to buy them again. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. If they just made everything buyable, then I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, if it's buyable in the Crew 2 and it can be imported into Motorfest, it should be buyable in Motorfest.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, well, that's a really silly situation, right? You can go to the Crew 2 and buy this car, but like you can't buy it in Motorfest, but it's in Motorfest. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what they need to do? Okay, for the players that don't want to buy the Crew 2, here's what you need to do. When they offer the free trial for the Crew 2, because every once in a while they do a free play weekend or whatever, just hop in there and grind your ass off and buy all the cars that you need. And then don't buy the game and just bounce. And then wait till the next free weekend and do the same thing.
Yeah.
The only issue is the summit cars, though. That's the problem. Gonna post this again. There's an unused playlist start location near the northern airport on the map, as well as 7 unused event markers and 3 unused speed traps. Probably another playlist this season. Yes, Nitro, I've seen some chatter about that in the crew Discord. I'm not real big on speculating. I don't really do it a lot on the channel. And so I haven't really entertained the idea of there being another playlist. If there is another playlist, that's awesome. I think that's cool. And if we do get one, I mean, I'll be welcoming. But I don't know. It seems like maybe they're just getting the map ready for it. You know, it could be a season 3 thing. They added a playlist with season 2. Maybe they'll add a playlist with season 3. I mean, we are in month number 2. If they were gonna add a playlist, it doesn't really make sense to add it in the 3rd month right before a big seasonal update. So I think we probably won't get it this season, but if we do, it's cool. I'm down with it, and that's good information. Like I said, I've seen some of the info floating around in the crew Discord, and people are being like freaking detectives over here trying to figure things out, which is cool. I like that from the community, but I don't do a whole ton of speculation. That's just not my thing. What kind of map expansion does Motorfest need? Says Leo the Gecko. I don't know, man. Maybe I would love to see more off-road stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Kels, take it easy,
cool.
man.
Yeah, see you later, Kels. What's cool with the Hoonigan update is that they showed, you know, that they can just, you know, add whatever. You know what I mean? They just added their own little Hoonigan island, so they can add like an off-road island, or add like a drift island, or add like a, you know, another racetrack, or you know,
it shows
literally whatever they want. They can.
Yes.
It's open.
Yeah, it shows that they are not committed to only staying on this one island. Like they are definitely willing to build some random new shit out in the ocean, which is awesome. Yeah. It's cool. I like it.
Yep. Hopefully, you know, hopefully they keep expanding on it and keeping it fresh. Yeah.
I hate the physics of the planes in Motorfest. Stevio, did you try turning off the plane assist? Also, you can change the way the plane feels just by changing the camera angle. If you, like, before you turn off the plane assist, handling assist, change your camera angle like one camera and see how it feels, because I feel like it feels almost identical to the Crew 2 when you change that camera. You like back out once and you're good. Race Creator Motorfest, that's for sure coming, but probably not for a couple years. Another Hawaiian island, but they may save that for a title update, if anything. Yeah, I agree. I think they'll probably try to charge for another island as like a $30 or $40 expansion. That's my guess anyway. Does accessing the other islands with only planes sound cool? I mean, obviously we have boats too, but
yeah, and also by the time another island gets added, like everybody has fast travel too, so you'll just fast travel around anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could like fly island to island or boat island to island, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. Legend Gold says definitely waiting for a sale if they charge for the rest of the islands. I can't see a world where they wouldn't charge for the islands if they actually do expand to one of those nearby islands that you can see on the map now. I can't see a world where they don't charge for that.
Accessing Crew 2 map from Motorfest through airports.
I would love that, dude. I would seriously love that if we could drive the streets of the USA map, but with the Motorfest cars. It'd be so awesome.
Yeah, you go to an airport, dude, and fly to the US, like the mainland, dude.
That'd be cool.
Crew 2 map.
That'd be cool.
See you later, Steve-O. Thanks for stopping by.
Stevie-O, take it easy. Speaking of boats, I want a boat grand race so me and the other 2 boat racers can enjoy it. Dude, boats suck, dude.
Bro,
they're so stupid.
Just think about how wide the checkpoints would have to be.
Insane.
The checkpoints would have to be so wide, or like everybody would be missing checkpoints. You're in the freaking ocean, dude, and everybody's like, oh my god, dude. Stevie-O,
thank you, man. I appreciate that. It sounds dumb to charge for new islands, especially considering the game you bought for almost $100 doesn't even include all the cars. I agree with you, Leo. I just don't see a world where they don't. Because a new a brand new island like that is essentially a whole new map, which means it's got to come with content. There has to be playlists that go on there. There has to be events. There has to be speed traps. There has to be all the things you have on the main island. There has to be those things on a whole new island, and they have to fill it up so it doesn't feel empty. So I think for sure that's a lot of work, and they're probably not gonna do that without charging for it. Even if it's something small like I don't know, 10 or 20 bucks, I still think they're gonna charge something for it. They could do year 2 and sell a new season pass for it. That's possible, don't it? I think that's definitely possible. Make the checkpoints as wide as Jupiter, and motherfuckers just still miss it, so I don't know. This is true, dude. 100%. Imagine all the waves.
Yeah, dude. If you've done the playlist, the Oceans and Sky or whatever it's called playlist, there's one of the boat races in there is awful. It's just like stormy weather, like insane waves. It's so bad.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. You know what speaking of annoying, the most annoying race in the entire game is the one that you do in the plane that takes like 8 minutes or something.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so bad. I don't want to think about it. I was going through the events list the other day trying to figure out like some different money making strategies, and I noticed the name of that event, and I was like, man, this race is really long. I wonder if I could do this in a Street 2 car. And then I realized what race it was. I didn't know it was a plane race. I wonder if I could do it in like a hypercar or whatever, just to make it faster. And it was like, nope, this is that dumb race that takes 8 minutes in a plane. No thanks.
Yeah. Gonzilla said, if you haven't done Ocean and Sky, then that means you still have happiness left. Keep it that way. Yeah, I agree, dude.
I've done it. I've done all the dang playlists. That's one thing I'd really like to work on, is all of the challenges and the what are they called? Feats. They're called feats, but what are they called in the game?
Side events.
Side activities. Yeah.
Side activities.
I would love to finish all the challenges and side activities. I think that's something I did not do in the Crew 2. I didn't finish all the races, and I think I would like to do that. I just don't have the time. Got to be putting out those daily videos, man. I think with the history of the Crew 2, they will do free maps expansions as they did in the Crew 2. I think it will be cars, or maybe later on like Motorfest, that they will make money on the instead. They didn't do a map expansion for the Crew 2, did they?
No idea.
Did they? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the map for the Crew 2 has pretty much stayed the same.
Legends and minor ones.
It's really fun to play a Technomar event with a boat and just fly through the air with Nos. What event is that, Leo? Technomar. I don't remember that.
That's the boat one I was talking about with the big ass waves and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Legend, yeah, like the Motorflix arena and things like that. Okay,
gotcha,
yeah, that makes sense.
I see.
Did it small islands like the Hoonigan Island?
Yeah, I don't think the islands that are surrounding the Oahu Island, I don't think those are small. I think those are basically the size of the Oahu Island, so it's not... Those I wouldn't consider to be a small map expansion. If we did end up getting to go that direction. The slip says, I completed the Sea and Sky playlist challenges, so you don't have to video. Oh my god, I can't. The airplane challenges, I just can't do them, dude. I'm so bad with the airplanes, it's crazy.
Same. I'm terrible.
I still fly with the bumpers, bro. I don't even use my joystick in the planes.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, is it? I still end up, just behind everybody right there at the grand races. I don't lose a lot of places. I'm fine with that. Zodiac says they'll start adding San Andreas to Rockport, or San Andreas and Rockport. Are there many people playing the Crew 2 still? Yes, there are. There's enough. There's enough. There's I think someone said earlier that the summits, they still get about 50,000 PlayStation participants. So, and that's just PlayStation. Xbox is probably a lot less than that. PC is probably less, but not by much. Hey, how do I get the Merry Christmas Vanity Underglow? You were using it in the YouTube short of yours. Yeah, so that was a summit reward in the Crew 2.
2 weeks ago, I think.
Last week. Yeah, last week. That was a summit reward. Wait.
Last week was the Bugatti.
No. Last week was the Bugatti. It was 2 weeks ago. You're right.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
2
was
weeks
a
ago.
platinum reward for the Crew 2.
Yeah, so you can't. So the short answer is you can't get it right now. You probably have to wait till next year. In 5 years, the island is probably going to be surrounded by GP islands. Boats will have will have nowhere left to go. This is probably true. That was Icy Christmas. Yeah. Yep. And dude, the amount of content we have planned already for this week is crazy. And I'm just like, my brain is so mushy. It's wild.
Yeah. You just get on every day and we're just grinding out content.
It's been a while since I thought about playing just for fun.
Yeah.
Like tonight, I'm already thinking like, okay, what do I have to do once the podcast is over? I gotta do this. I gotta get this schedule. I gotta get this short made. It's wild, dude. We think they'll ever add a 992 Porsche GT3 and RS? I don't know, but it'd be cool to see. I bought the Crew 2 on 2020, but never played. Really have no idea how this game works. You're lucky, Mr. Is it Case or Cais? I'm not sure. Anyway, the Crew 2, I have a few guides out on the Crew 2 for new players, and I highly suggest taking a look at them because they'll help you get started basically in your Crew 2 journey. It's definitely something, if you bought the game and you're playing Motorfest and you want to collect more stuff, more cars, you definitely watch the guides because it'll help you avoid some of the grind. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm crashing.
Yeah, no, I'm just like
I am crashing. We should wrap this up. Let everybody go play their games. I appreciate you guys coming out to another stream. We had another big stream tonight for the podcast. These are actually really fun, by the way. I know I don't necessarily, I'm not like smiling the entire time because we're talking about some heavy subjects here, like wheel mode and cheating, like this Steve Militia cheater guy that's here.
Yeah.
But
I'm not cheating anymore.
But I think I can speak for both of us saying we have fun doing this, and we like just answering the questions you guys have. And for once, we're gonna end this podcast without talking about food too much. We talked a little bit earlier, but that's it. We're ending it, dude. We're not talking about food.
Zodiac Blade, we do not live together, man.
No, we don't.
We're in different states.
Different states. Completely different states, different time zones. So anyway, thanks guys, I appreciate the interaction, and if you guys have questions, always you can send me a DM, but you can also just save them for the podcast because we love having new subjects to talk about. Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy. Thanks everybody.
Bye.